welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and I post as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram.
Yes.
Yes, and I posted something I'm going to show off.
Yes,
I
know.
Did. We're so lucky my mother doesn't have an iPhone.
No, I mean, not even that. Or the link.
Or anything that would allow her to look at Instagram. So.
Oh, Instagram, yes. Oh, I was going to say she also doesn't check out the YouTube.
No, she doesn't check out the YouTube, and she doesn't do Instagram.
No.
So whatever I show, I'm safe with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So what did you finish?
I finished my sweater.
Yes, you did.
So this is Serenity. I have not blocked it, except for the arm. And the arm is
a little tight.
And we know my constant struggle with weight. So if I can get it together, to lose some weight, my arms will be thinner and it will be fine. I made a modification. I used an entire skein of yarn for this turtleneck.
Mm-hmm.
I did the decrease.
I see.
Up to about, 3 inches, 3.5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I did the decrease every other row as suggested, but then I kept going. And then I did it every 4th row. And then I kept going up to about 5 inches. And then I was knitting with 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to size 3 for an inch. And then I finished it in size 4s.
So to get the
bell out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy with it. What it looked like when I ripped it out, I had done increases, and it looked like it was flattened like a pancake or a cake that had flattened. And it was getting the concept, but
it was a bit more boat neck.
Well, it wasn't up enough. It seemed to have lost its oomph.
It didn't have the height you wanted.
Didn't have the height I wanted, and became flat too fast. So I'm very glad I ripped it out. I think we know that a sweater or a project that we're happy with is worth ripping it out and starting over again.
Mm-hmm.
And all I had to rip out was the neck. But it was 2 weeks of working on a neck or a collar. But I am very pleased with it. For me, I mean, my bra crossover is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So to have this only go up an inch, for me, is not enough. But it's everyone to one's own taste. That's one of the reasons why we make these garments, that we can make modifications that we want to make.
Yeah.
And I am really, really pleased. My sleeves are long enough. I am extremely pleased. And I think that certainly once I block it, my hem will lay flat. So I'm very thrilled with this whole thing.
Yes. And the 1600 pen is just, it's gorgeous.
So
very,
very, very pleased. I think that the
the
eyelets, the open work that go down the front and down the back really catch the eye, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it all winter. So that's terrific. We in fact have just booked a trip to Arizona right after Thanksgiving. Rich's brother has a membership in Hyatt, and I think they rented an apartment which happens to have 2 bedrooms. And because it's not Christmas, the kids don't have off. So Lauren's husband has to teach. And I think they're in the classroom now, so he can't be there. They can't go to Arizona. He can't teach in Arizona. So with the 2-bedroom, they called us yesterday and said, you want to go? So we're going to be going to Arizona right after Thanksgiving. And I certainly can bring this because I just looked up the temperatures. They're going to run from about 65 degrees the day we arrive down to about 58 degrees by the time we leave. So maybe something like this. I don't know how windy it will be. And then at night it gets down to 40 to 36 or 36 to 40. So yes, this will be very comfortable.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to wearing this. Cannot wait. Now,
what else did you finish?
It's not really finished.
Okay, but what else are you excited about that? Because you have to block it first before it can be finished.
Yes, absolutely. I have put together not just one row of my mother's Lapghan, Cascade Lapghan. I had put together all of the rows of the Lapghan. And yes, some of them had to be eased because some of the blocks are looser patterns
Okay.
than others. So what I'm going to do now that they're all together is it's going into the washing machine on delicate, so to get a little more beater action than hand wash. And then I will lay it out.
I mean, it is 220, so it is superwash 220, right?
Right.
So you could throw it in the washer and dryer.
Find a label. All right, so as long as it's washed, I haven't actually looked. There must be one in there with a label.
It has the little symbols on it. Here. Oh. Here. It has the washer symbol on it.
Superwash.
Yeah.
Well, then it's going into the washer, to the dryer, and I think it will settle in. They'll each settle in.
Yeah.
Now, for example, I've got one of the greens that is basically like a cable pattern, this basket weave.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, it's going to scrunch up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a factor of the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can stretch it.
You mean it's like a rib?
Yes, it's like a rib. So I can stretch it so it's the same size as the other ones, but I couldn't unless I took an iron to it and really killed it.
I don't really think
iron.
you can kill. Can you kill wool?
Yes, you
that
can.
way?
Yes, you can.
Oh.
Yes, you can.
I've only spoken of killing acrylic that way because you melt it.
Right. Well, you can really do a number on wool too.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do that. Into the washer, into the dryer, and then it'll come out. And then what I do is I pick up 54 stitches
along
each block.
Okay.
Right, for...
So 212? No, 216.
216 along each edge for a grand total of 800 and some. And then there are, it's either 3 or 4 rows per color, and there's 4 colors.
No?
So, I'll work on this week and hopefully get it done. So that would be nice that one of the Christmas presents is done. And remember, I started working on this in August.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I started
now? Mm.
I would be tearing my hair out.
Yep.
Because, I mean, it's just that it takes time.
It does.
It does take time. So I have not started the kids' toys. I'm hoping to get one toy done this week. So that's a goal of mine this week, is to get one inside-out toy done.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how many I can get done. But I'm very happy with this. Very, very happy. My mother has no idea that it is or has been in production. So it will be a surprise.
Good.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you want to report on?
So,
I've got pieces I'm looking at.
So, yeah. So, today, I picked up a baby sweater that I had been working on. The Bumble. Let me get to the end of the row and I will show you. And I owe this from July. Or, well, the baby shower was in May.
Mm-hmm.
But she was born at the end of June. So, she is 5 months then?
July, August, September, October.
So she's 4 months. So I think that's big enough.
I think it'd be plenty big enough.
Okay. I was a little scared because she's a big old kid. I mean, but
she's
that's
not
also
petite.
because, well, I think that's also because, like,
her parents are not petite.
But it's also not just that, but I think it's also the fact that, like, I saw her when she was, I met her when she was about 5 weeks old.
Right.
And so now she's significantly bigger than that.
It
But
happens.
they grow exponentially.
That's right. It happens.
So I saw her on Instagram recently and I was like, oh no, this sweater is not going to fit.
It will fit.
So we'll discuss in a little bit why I have some problems with something else I'm knitting. So I decided to put this in my bag and bring this over and to talk it out with Mom. And so before I even brought up the fact that I was thinking that I was going to need to frog it, I figured out what size I was knitting, and I figured out that I had already planned to make the 1 to 2 year old size in the Bumble by Tin Can Knits. So that was a very smart plan of mine. I think this is because this is how much yarn I have. I picked the largest size I could safely know I had the yardage for. Sometimes with tin can knits, you can pick the next size up and it's okay. I'd never worked with the multicolored yarn before. I'd never worked with a Cozy Colorworks DK. So I wanted to just make sure that I had enough yardage. So from this stitch marker, I needed 2 more inches. So I think I think
you got it.
I'm almost there. I've got I have to go to 9 inches total.
You've got a 1/4 inch.
You've got a half inch.
You've got to put this down at the 0 point there.
Well, I've got, yeah. So I figured out that I needed 12 more color rows, because you do contrast color first, and then you do a main color row. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I do 12, then I think I'll hit it.
I think you'll hit it, yeah.
And then you put on the sleeves and you start decreasing for your yoke.
Very
nice. I think I will get this done pretty expeditiously now that I have my knitting mojo back, which is good. Because I have a whole bunch of little people that I need to knit for.
Yes.
So you all might not be seeing a lot of sweaters to fit me, which is fine, because I will always be of generally the same size.
Right.
Whereas they grow as if you're just watching them.
Yes.
And they shoot up another inch in any given direction.
So,
yeah, I'm actually very pleased that I was able to pick it up, and I'm moving right along. So I think the mojo is back.
That's
great.
Is
nice. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So what else have you been working on, Mom?
I have been, let's see my bags here.
Yeah.
I did section 1 of Clue 2 of the Stephen West shawl.
Okay.
And that's these rows.
Yes.
So I am so pleased with my color choices.
I am very pleased with your color choices too.
I'm finding that a much limited color palette makes shawls that I really like.
Yes.
So I'm very pleased with the colors I chose. This week my goal on this is to finish Clue 2. And I think this is a worthy goal.
Yeah.
So that's my plan there.
So do you want to talk about my Stephen West knit along then?
Yes, please.
So this is mine. Well, I love my idea. I don't particularly love this pattern in that concept. It's not sending me.
But you haven't finished it yet either.
But I'm not sure I will wear it.
Right. Why do you say that?
I say that because the greens are so different. They're so much cooler than the warm tones of the red and the orange and even the, tanny colors. So, I have 2 thoughts. One is to frog it back to here
and change out
and to change out both greens for, say, let's see if we can pull up some alternative color sort of thoughts, like maybe a brown and maybe a pink. Maybe we go in a pink direction, or we go in a hold on, let's see. So we've got like this burgundy color. So maybe if we go in a more red, we go in a brown red and a red, and then we have these.
That's fall.
As our colors.
Oh,
then we stay in this warm color family.
I like that.
That might be a little close, but that's okay. But if I find something bright red and then maybe a brown,
rewrap this one.
I will. When I put it down, I will redo it.
Okay.
But that's option number 1. Option number 2 is to frog the whole thing and to go with greens, because I have a bunch of greens in my stash.
Yeah, I'll do this.
I can do it. It's not a problem. I'm the one who destroyed it. I'm sorry. But I don't
and it's
necessarily...
Bounce and Stomp by Nerd Girl.
Yeah, I know. So... Here, I can do it.
Yeah, I got it.
No, Mom, it'll come apart again. You have to do it
really tight
this way.
There. Okay.
And then, but my only thought is that I actually have a lot of green shawls. And so maybe and I have a lot of things that are cool toned in my wardrobe, so I think it'd be nice to have that warm toned reds.
I think
also.
So. I mean, I love red.
I do too.
So,
I just don't have a shawl in it yet, so I'm thinking that might be what I do, and just leave the greens down here alone, because I already did it, and I don't want to redo all of it.
I think that would still be fine. I mean, that's that little pop of color.
Yeah.
And if you add in this, it's not going to be.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to try and find another brown, which I think I actually have, and then a bright red is what I'm going to do, just because I love what I'm seeing when they are monochromatic.
Right.
Or if they're black, white, gray, and 2 pops of color.
Yes. Which is basically what I've done. Right.
And I saw another one that used like a rainbow as theirs, and it's just really lovely, like a black, white, gray, and like rainbow minis. So that's kind of what I've been. I tried to push through, but I think part of it is that I love this tealy green so much, and that I wanted it to work. Right. And I really liked the way that the tealy green popped with the bright green. So it'll happen at some point.
Right.
But I think what I need to do is I need to frog back to Clue 1, Part 2. Which is sad, but I think I'd rather
if it's going to mean that you're going to wear it.
Exactly.
I think that makes a great deal of difference. It's like this neckline.
Yeah.
It really is, I think, looking at what you're doing and saying, am I going to be satisfied with it? And is it going to make me happy?
Yeah.
Because if I'm happy with it, I'll wear it.
Exactly.
If I'm not happy with it, I'll block it and it gets put up in the closet. I mean, I have to say the one that I made last year, that of the shades of blue and white and black.
Yeah, you wear that all the time.
A lot. It's out in the house, and often on the back of the sofa, so I can just drape it over myself. And it really does quite well. So, yeah, I advocate if it's not really speaking to you, rip it out. Do something else with the yarn. Make that different color combination, so that you'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
Or think about who you're going to give it to. Because if you're not happy with it, you will not wear it.
And I don't think I think even if I end up not wearing it and I end up, gifting it eventually, I think a more monochromatic look will be better and will be more
fitting in with other
giftable.
People.
Yeah.
Could be.
I do think I could redo it all, but I also don't want to discourage myself by ripping out everything I've done.
Right. Since you got your mojo back.
It did.
It really did.
So, I'm right now then, we are working on baby sweater, and then I have an idea for another baby sweater, but I have to get at least 2 baby hats. Well, not baby, probably toddler hats. A toddler sweater and a baby sweater. And at least weave in the ends to a baby blanket by December 8th.
Okay.
Because I'd like to give, or at least have my company children's
taken
covered
care of
by the company holiday shindig.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I thought that was a good goal.
I think that's an excellent goal. Okay, so now you have your marching orders.
Thank you.
Okay, so since I finished this sweater...
Oh, what did you decide to do?
I liberated the needle.
Oh, yes, you had to liberate the needle. Oh!
And I have, if you remember, one of these sleeves was...
in the silver.
The silver-ish color.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you see that I have now I actually cut it off.
Wow.
Because it was very sticky yarn. And I couldn't, the metallic part of it was hooking into itself. So I first knit this sleeve, the back sleeve, down just past where the first sleeve was. So I know it's long enough. And now I have about 3 inches to go to finish the second sleeve. Now, the reason I can do this is because I found that last skein of yarn. So
it's a beautiful color. That brown, purple. It's like a caramel brownie.
Yes, and I would open it up, except I've got the sleeves pinned together to make sure I have them the right size. So I will finish this sleeve tonight, and then it can go into the wet in order to be blocked this week. So that's exciting that this sweater will be done. And I'll be able to wear this. And it fits really well. So even though it's got a weird V in the back, apparently when it's blocking out, it does
from
really
what I've
well.
seen on Instagram, it does really well.
So this is well on its way to being done. So that's...
I mean, it does tempt me to, steal the pattern and make one, because... I look at it on Instagram every so often, and I'm like, that is not a half bad pattern.
No, it's not. It really isn't. So what else do you want to talk about?
What else do you have to knit? Because I have cross stitch, but... and then I got some things in the mail and then forgot them at home. So you all will see that next week.
I was helping at the church fair yesterday.
Yes, all three of us were.
Yes.
It was very, very funny. A lot of people commented how they got all 3 Predmores.
It's like they had a bingo card.
Yeah.
And one of them was, see all 3 Predmores.
Mm-hmm.
So I took, and because I didn't...
So my favorite moment of the day was I pulled up in my car and hadn't opened yet. It pulled up and I was like, all right, so where are we parking? The volunteers parking? And one of the guys who's known me almost my entire life goes, I don't know. Your pops is in charge of that. Go talk to him. And so I rolled down my window and I yelled out, hey, Pops! And he turned around and looked at me goggle-eyed like, what are you? Hello?
You've never talked to
I know. And I told him that it was because
Barry or
No,
Jim?
it was Steve Sylvester.
Ah.
And I was like, well, Steve, I said, well, your Pops would know. And he goes, these people and their Pops. So, yeah.
So anyway,
so while you were running I
was the cashier for the refreshments.
Yes.
Coffee shop. Because I had set up for 2 hours at the baked goods, and there was no way we were constantly moving. But everything else I was working on was either huge or was a little more intricate. I didn't want to bring the thing that I was going to have to cut the sleeve off and all that other kind of stuff. So I brought my yarn for the Artichoke French, and I have gotten to the point where I have made, it goes this way. I've made my thumb hole.
Yeah, that looks right. That looks right.
For my right sleeve.
Yeah.
So obviously this has a way to go.
You have almost a wrister. You are almost at wrister length.
Yes. I realized that I have used part of this yarn, part of a skein of this yarn for something else.
Oh, no.
So what I've decided is make the sleeves first.
Yes. Well, it is bottom up, so that makes it easy.
Actually, top down would make it easier.
Well, no, but to do sleeves first.
Yes. So yes. So the sleeves are going to be made first, and then whatever I have left is made into the sweater. I do like this little tiny cable pattern.
It's a gorgeous. The Artichoke French cable pattern is gorgeous.
It's a 4-row slip drop stitch type of thing.
It's
actually a
double
cable.
yarn over cable thing.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's a really delicate looking cable. So I've dropped a stitch.
I think I wore mine on Wednesday when I had my first of 2 meetings with my VP.
That stitch. So I have started this. Whether I'll work on it this week or not, I don't know, but I have at least started it. It's only been on my drawing board for 3 years.
No big deal.
So I have started it, but I do want to make
It's been in concept for 3 years. You only picked out your yarn last year when I finished mine.
Yes.
You've always known you wanted to make one.
Oh, absolutely.
But you hadn't picked out your yarn until last
absolutely.
year. So I will give you a...
And I had taken my Indian Lake Artisans ceramic needles with me because you need size 8s and size 9s. I did, while I was at the church fair, I did a swatch. So I knitted a swatch.
Nice.
To check my gauge on the size 9s. And I'm going to have to make a size up
Okay.
Because instead of, I didn't make gauge, I got 15 stitches to the 4 inches instead of 14.
Okay.
So if I make the next size up, it should be more than fine.
Oh, yeah.
But for the sleeve cuffs,
but as long, and the cable looks good. So,
Yeah.
like, that's the biggest, what I've seen,
Yeah.
if anyone else is doing modifications with yarn and such and coming up with gauge issues, what I've seen most people having the issues with gauges is not your actual stitches per inch, it's how the cable looks. So definitely do the cable, or do, you know, as much as Mom did on the wrist, on the wristers, take it out, put it on, make sure you like how it looks, because that is what is going to be the defining feature of this sweater, and you want to make sure that you like how that looks.
Absolutely.
Because everything else is in stockinette, essentially, and then you're good.
And the sleeves come in 3 sizes, so I'm making the middle size sleeve.
Are your sleeves actually ribbed?
I'm doing, yes.
Okay, so you're going to do them to here to rib?
I'm following the pattern.
Well, it converts from rib to stockinette.
Okay.
Okay. I just don't know where it does, and I might have steered you wrong yesterday. I just realized that.
Well, the directions at the thumb are not really,
the most clear.
No, they're not. And so I can switch over to stockinette at any point.
Yeah, you can.
So I could do it now.
Yeah, when you put it on, you could, I think you were about it here anyways.
Yes.
You could switch over. That's a good length.
So, and then I'll see how I like the sleeves, and I may make my regular size sweater, so we'll see. But this, if I make the sleeves first, then whatever yarn I have left goes into the sweater, and we're fine.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what I used that yarn for, but
I don't know either.
I did. I have not worked on my eggshell at all, because that is something I have to sit and concentrate. Each row takes me about an hour.
Okay.
Maybe 45 minutes, because it's, for me, such intense color work. I am not a natural color work artist at all. I love cables. I love lace, but I don't do this very well. And apparently yesterday I was so excited at church that I made a promise to make something in Estonian yarn.
Oh, really?
Yes, to be auctioned off.
Oh, an Estonian lace something?
Yes.
To whom did you make this promise?
Rupali.
For the Epiphany?
I think so.
Oh, for the event I'm running.
For what?
For the event I'm co-chairing?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have to go in the closet and find the Estonian wool.
Okay.
That I have.
Okay.
I have enough for 2 of these things.
Okay.
I'm only going to make 1.
Good. You were.
I've been thinking about this for about 1.5 years, 2 years.
That you wanted to make one?
I wanted to make one.
And that you wanted
to give it to the church.
Okay.
Yes. So this is not something that just happened.
Good.
Yesterday. I really was checking to make sure that she thought it would be nice.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is making an Estonian shawl with Estonian wool. So the shawl becomes so fine that it will pass through the diameter of your wedding ring. I've made a partial one before, so I know that it's true. This yarn is so fine, it's such a fine lace, that an entire shawl will pass through your wedding ring. And I think it would be a lovely thing to auction off. So
yeah, I think it'll go great. I mean, I think we're also doing the 50-50 for the quilt at the time. So I think it'll go great.
So it's an adult event rather than the children's fair that was yesterday.
I know.
So I know I have yarn in there. It's in one of 4 bins or zipper cases. Big, it's like 4 suitcases. But I'll find it and get it out. No, I'm probably not going to start it this weekend. I actually have to find my pattern because it's in a book. So it's one of these books over here.
Oh.
So about Estonian lace. So I will find. It'll probably take me a week to find that too. Yeah. So get a Christmas present, a Christmas toy made. Pick up, block the Lapghan and get some of the...
At least pick up the border.
Yes, and pick up the border. Probably not finish the border, but pick up the border. Finish clue 2. And then see about this Estonian lace.
I think my goal for the week is...
Which is fine. I've made one of these. The only thing, I got mad when I made mine because there was outside pressure to finish this and wear this and do all this, and I don't do well with outside pressure. It makes me obstinate. It makes me perverse. So pressure me, and I'm like to dig in my heels and be like a donkey about the whole thing. So I finished the center part, but I did not make the border.
No.
You know, I'm not even interested in finishing one for me now. It's just like, it was, the whole kind of experience was
off-putting.
Yes. But I can see, and I've got two colors. I could do one in white and I could do one in light blue. Like a baby blue. Ew, yes. So,
well, we should see. White. I was going to say, see what the quilt is. And do one, so that if it's a predominantly blue quilt, don't do the blue.
Well, I'm thinking maybe we do the first one in white.
Okay.
Because I think if that goes well, then we can make one next year in light blue. So we can see that. So anyway, I have to look for my book. So that's what I have been doing this week.
Well, my goal for the week, as Mother has her goals, is to finish, or at least, I'm going to say finish this baby sweater.
I think that's a good goal.
I think I can do that. I am moving right along, so I think I can do that. And then I would also like to gather up all of the supplies for the other baby things I need to make for my work people. And how about, let's say, frog this to the point we have determined and find the alternative colors.
That sounds like
for review.
That's great.
I think that's I
think that's really good.
I think that's a good place to start. And then cross stitch whenever I don't want to knit. Because
you've been going great guns.
Well, not really. I'm currently four dudes behind, so I've done all the black part, the black stitch or the black cross stitch of this guy. I've done the half stitches, and I'll do the name, and then I've got 4 more that go here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind, but I'm gonna keep going on it.
She decided she was going to back it in black fabric.
Yes, because I'd been holding it up on my lap with a white blanket behind it, and honestly, stitching on any color with black thread with a white background is very difficult. It's much easier when you have a black background, unless you're stitching on black fabric, and then a white fabric or a white background is better to see. And so I was noticing that I could see these little sections where I did where I brought it over, because it's close enough. But I realized you could really see it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to when I do finish it and I'm going to back it, I'll back it with a black either fabric or piece of felt, or, I'll back it in black, because I think that will help with that minor visual issue. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the cryptids. It's a little creepy and cute at the same time, and it's very much up my alley. We were talking to my boyfriend earlier, and he was mentioning that I am in my chaos phase or something like that, because I have, as you all know, my winter coat has this large collar, and it's large, and and I feel like a supervillain walking, especially when I walk from my job site over to main office. I feel like a supervillain, and it makes me feel really good.
Very empowered.
I mean, this outfit also kind of makes me feel like a supervillain. It's the sleeves, I think, and the shoulders. I think having the shoulders, and on the coat, it's the collar. I think that really, and I'm really leaning into that aspect of myself.
Sure.
Not in a down with the world kind of way, but in a you mess with me or my people and I will come for you kind of way.
Sounds reasonable.
I thought so too. So I'm really enjoying it. And it's just fun. But yeah, I'm also really excited about this baby sweater now that I'm like
moving
trucking along on it. This is nice. But yeah, I think that's
a lot. All right, so I want to say if anybody still needs to make reservations for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or the February winter school holiday, now's the time to be doing it. We've actually started looking at, we've made our reservations for Thanksgiving. I'm not sure where Christmas is going to be, so I have not made those reservations, and I'm not even sure where we'd make them. I have to look to see where around Charles City.
We should make them because we can always
right.
cancel
we'll
them
look
quickly.
After we finish recording this, we'll look. And then Richard and I are going to be going away for 11 days, 10 nights, 11 days in February. February is not a great month for me because it's always so cold here. February can make you cringe. I mean, there have been Februarys where it didn't get above 20. And at 20 degrees, my eyes start to tear, and then the tears freeze on my face. So.
Oh, okay. You'll be back for the event then.
When is the event?
I think the 12th. You
Will
come back on the 11th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is something that I have to make, and I have to make fast. So
Yes.
I'll find the book. And the stitch markers, marking off the pattern, will make a great deal of difference. So anyway, make your reservations now, because we found that things were filling up, and the plane reservations. Last night I looked at plane reservations, and there were mini seats available. This morning, when my brother-in-law called and said, "Yes, well, that's great. Come on, this is when we're going," there weren't as many seats available.
But you guys got them.
We got them.
Good.
We got them, but I'm just saying they're going fast. So I'm suggesting that make your plans if you can and make those reservations. Now, I did make them so that ours were refundable.
Good.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'd think about it seriously.
Yeah. So that is our,
our tip for today.
Our non-knitting tip.
That's right.
Non-crafting tip for the week.
So anything else, my dear?
I've been drawn to looking at knit dress patterns because I think that that's one of the best things for the winter.
Yes.
You can layer under, you can layer over, and I'm very tempted. I'm not even looking at yarn. I'm looking at fabric, like knit fabric to sew.
Blaze, I think that I picked up to go with that. Yes, there it is. I can see it. Some Kansas Blaze to go with that Nerd Girl.
Yeah.
That was paired with another yarn that fell apart.
But yeah, I mean, I've been looking at sewing knit dresses.
I see.
Because that's a lot faster. But yeah, so I have to look at my current
stash
wardrobe and then stash and see, because also there's a fabric shop down where we go for Thanksgiving that I know just got a lot of knit fabric in, and I'm like, oh, how you're pretty.
Yes, and we're going to be there our Tuesday night and Wednesday morning.
And I know how much we like to support local, even if it's
we do.
They're not necessarily local to us.
We can go shopping and then bring them to Grandma.
Oh yes, and she can ooh and ah and go, what are you going to do with that?
That's right.
So that's something I've been thinking about.
Sounds good.
Other than that, I think for now,
it's time to weave in the ends.
It's time to weave in our ends, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.